So, Land Rover Horse of the Year for 2020, the big class for Thursday evening, the Ultra-Mox Lady Rider of the Year. Set at 1 metre 40. 30 combinations will come and tackle the Werner Degg designed course. Each of these young ladies qualified yesterday and went Tuesday. Not only is there $1,200 cash up for grabs, they've got $1,250 voucher from Ray Burmester Jewellery. They also get a year's supply of Ikoya products, as well as 2 tickets to the wonderful Ikoya Women of Inspiration event tonight, held in the Land Rover Lounge here on site. So 30 combinations, and you'd be a brave person to pick someone that's going to win this big competition, the big class of Thursday night here at Land Rover Horse of the Year. 30 combinations are to go. They all qualified on Tuesday or Wednesday. Did these ladies through a very vigorous selection process and jumping the metre 35 and the metre 40 classes here in Land Rover Premier Arena. So the bell goes for our first combination. 18-year-old from Auckland is Colleen Cruz. She rides Orome's Girl VDL by Orome VDL out of Chalakan, Jenna. Nice ride through the Ultra-Mox treble there for Colleen. It's a 7-8. Shortens up. Now quite a tight turn here to fence 9. The stirrups vertical. 4 strides down to the oxer. A little bit of a breather before they come to this last line. There's a lot of timber when you stand at the other end by the Wellness Hub. 4 fences in a row. Jumps there, Bailey's vertical quite nicely. And it's a 12-fault round for Colleen and Orome's Girl VDL. So our next rider, we welcome Ali Carson. Ali from Putaruru rides the 10-year-old Grey Gelding LC Autograph, bred by Steve Cohen at LC Horse Farms in Clevedon by the Stallion Telegraph, formerly ridden by Marcus Wilde and John Cottle, and also Bruce Gooden out of the mare Yaldavi. Grows up on a dairy farm. Does Ellie in Putaruru, just in Litchfield, about 3.5 hours north of Hastings. Gives fence 4 a big rattle. She comes to the treble now. Ultra-Mox Lady Rider of the Year. Nicely through A, B and C. Heads now to this bit of an S-bend across Land Rover Premier Arena. 4 strides down here. They then turn to the left, come to the stirrups, vertical. 4 strides down to fence 10. What a 8 jump fault. So Ultra-Mox Lady Rider of the Year final. Ellie Carson and LC Autograph. They will have 1 time penalty to go with their 8 jump faults, and they will have a total of 9. Ellie Carson and LC Autograph. Total of 9. Time allowed in this first round of 80 seconds. Time allowed of 80 seconds. So you have to complete this course in less than 80 seconds. If you go over that 80 seconds, for every 4 seconds you go over the time, you will incur 1 penalty. So if you go 4.1 seconds over, you will actually get 2 penalties. If you go 0.2 of a second over, you'll get 1. So we welcome now Cartino Jewel for Olivia Newsom. 12-year-old Dark Bay gelding by Carantino Glory out of the mare Sabine. 15-year-old from Tauranga is Olivia. She attends ACG Tauranga College. She also trains with the under 15 Bay of Plenty rep netball team. So very, very talented young netballer is Olivia. And trying her hand in the Ultra-Mox Lady Rider of the Year aboard Cartino Jill. She turns up now to fences 9 and 10. The stirrups vertical. Goes for the 5 strides in there. You've got the option of jumping the 4 or the 5. This beautiful Vernadeg track. This is probably going to be the biggest question he's asked for the whole course here. Fences 11, 12AB and 13. He's got a little bit of a question here on this bent line, which you may not be able to see quite so well from the screen, but Olivia cracking round. She'll just finish on the 4 faults. Her time is 79.44, puts her inside the time allowed. So it's just 4 faults for Olivia. Great ride. She'll be absolutely happy with that. But just the 1 rail. And she'll sit on 4 faults. This is a 2-round competition. There will be definitely 8 combinations to come back. If we get more than 8 clears, all the clears will be back. But it'll definitely be 8 will come back for the second round. Should we have an equality of faults in the second, after the second round, the time in the second round will be the determining factor. So Amelia Forsyth from Clevedon. 20-year-old Amelia Forsyth rides Henton Fabergé. 14-year-old chestnut mare, bred at Henton Lodge Hanoverians by the stallion 4 edition out of the mare Galatore. She jumped a couple of cracking World Cup classes this year, has Amelia and Henton Fabergé. They won the second round of the Gold Tour at Takapoto, the speed class, qualifying for the gold final. She comes now to fence 7. Going well so far, Henton Fabergé and Amelia Forsyth. Nice ride down to fence 10. She comes down to this last line. Three from home. Henton Fabergé, Amelia Forsyth. Oh, and just a rail there at that last oxer. As well at the last She'll be a little bit disappointed with the last two fences coming down. Will Amelia aboard Hinton Fabergé, but that puts her at this stage into second place, though, with 4 combinations that have gone. 23 left to go. Ultra-Mox Lady Rider of the Year, set at 1.40 m. This last line down here, fences 11, 12A, B, and 13. They'll be the tricks of jumping this track. They will be the challenge. 13 numbered fences. You've got 1 treble and a double to contend. Beautifully designed course. Basically what he's done is ask you to canter down and jump a fence. Can you come forward and canter down and jump these fences in front of you? He's set a beautiful track. He's given you a nice easy start at the first fence, the catwalk. Oxer set at 1.25 m, and then he has cranked up the pace, gone to 1.40 m by fence 3. The triple bar Land Rover has our combination now. Samantha Morrison aboard Frangipani di Toxandria comes to it now. She jumps that and hold on, Sam. Oh, unfortunate there for Sam and Frangipani di Toxandria. They won the qualifying class here on Tuesday, the metre 40. But it's good to see that she is up and walking. She will be absolutely disappointed. Well, Sam, huge leap over fence 3, unseated her slightly, and then unseated again at fence 4, and an unfortunate elimination there for Samantha Morrison and Frangipani di Toxandria. So, next combination, a beautifully presented cartoon NZPH by the stallion Kabdullah Dutalad out of the Mare United Blue. Bred by NZPH, Warwick Hansen and the team out at Ocean Beach. Ridden today by Sally Steiner. Owned by Sally and husband Philip. Full-time professional riders out of Tauranga. There's Philip and Sally, wonderful producers of horses. There's Sally and Philip Steiner out of their base in Tauranga. Comes now to the Ultra-Mox treble, does Sally Steiner, aboard cartoon, NZPH, over the first oxer. Pushes forward to get the back rail of the second, shortens up for the vertical. Nicely done, Sally, cartoon, NZPH. Comes to this decent enough combination of 7, 8 and 9. She'll only be penalised the 4 faults for the dismantling of that brick wall. She'll still sit on 4 faults. Jumps beautiful through that oxer. Hops over the last, and she will also incur 1 penalty. So you see there the plus 261 is the 2 seconds over time. She'll only get 1 penalty for that. So she'll finish on a total of 5. 4 jump faults and 1 time fault for Sally Steiner and cartoon NZPH. So fence 8 it was, the brick wall that caused problems for Sally Steiner. She'll slot into second place. At this stage, Cartino Jill and Olivia Newsom sit atop on the top leaderboard at this stage. Just the 4 faults in their round. So Ultra-Mox Lady Rider of the Year. Not only do they get the $1,200 cash for the winner, they get a year's supply of Ikoya products. They also get a $1,250 voucher from Ray Burmester Jewellery. And Ray, may he rest in peace, a great supporter of New Zealand equestrian support and always a great supporter of jewellery for the Lady Rider of the Year. So we go to our next combination now. Maddox Latino and Emma Watson from Morrinsville. Maddox Latino, New Zealand Thoroughbred Cross by Latorio out of All Gems, bred by Laura Knight. She comes now to fence 5. Emma Watson aboard Maddox Latino. Comes now to the Ultra-Mox treble. Nice bold ride into the treble for M. Shortens him up. Gets out over the vertical. Comes now to fence 7 and 8. Comes now to the stirrups. 9 and 10. Emma Watson and Maddox Latino. There's a rail there, does Maddox Latino. She comes down this last line, 11, 12 AB and 13. Sits on 4 faults. Nicely there. Boy Lime, stay on him. Comes to the last. Oh. There's the last down. She'll finish on 8 faults. Will Maddox Latino and Emma Watson. One down at fence 9 and a little unseated after the Oxer at fence 12B. They'll finish on 8 faults, but that will put them at this stage into 3rd place. It is a 2-round competition. The top 8 will come back. Should we have more than 8 clears, all clears will come back. And they will come back in reverse order of penalties. It's a 2-round competition. So Julie Davey rides Nahiwi Stone. Lives just down the road in Clive, does Julie. Shortlisted for Sydney in 2000 aboard How's That. She rode in a lot of nation cups in Europe in the late 90s and the early 2000s. Professional horse rider is Julie. And she rides Nahiwi Stone, a 9-year-old grey gelding by Nahiwi Blue Inductoro out of the mare Clipso. Comes down this last line. Julie Davey, Nahiwi Stone, sits on 4 faults. Jumps the last clear. And it's a 4-fault round. 4-fault round. Julie Davey and Nahiwi Stone. Just the one rail for Nahiwi Stone and Julie Davey. Ultra-Mox Lady Rider of the Year, 1 metre 40. All these 30 combinations qualified on Tuesday and Wednesday. And our next combination, number 11, Idle D for Kate Hurdson. Is a student helicopter pilot from Ararimu in Auckland. There's Kate And she rides a 10-year-old brown gelding, Idle D, by Inductoro, out of the mare Fairbanks Vita. Well, it may have been an 8-fault round, but Kate's still got a smile on her face. Idle D and Kate Hudson, total of 8 faults, but still got a smile for Idle D and Kate Hudson. So 2 4-faulters currently hold the lead at the moment. We've got 1 5-faulter, 2 8-faulters, and 2 9-faulters. So the top 7 at the moment sit here. Emma Watson, Ellie Carson, Amelia Forsyth, Kate Hudson, Sally Steiner, Olivia Newsom, and Julie Davey. Those are your top 7 at the moment, and the top 8 will be invited back. Should we get more than 8 clears, all of those clears will be back for the second round. Rachel Malcolm rides Twerk. Twerk, a 9-year-old bay gelding by Lansing out of the mare Jazz, owned by Natasha Brooks. And Rachel picking up the ride on Twerk just this year, with Natasha taking a year off. And Rachel having 2 rides in this class. We'll see her out later on Monte Carlo. Just had a rail down the fence forward, did Rachel. She comes now to this line, 7, 8, and then hangs left to 9. Comes to this last line now, does Rachel Malcolm aboard Twerk, Ultra-Mox Lady Rider of the Year for 2020. Through A and B, shortens up to the last. Nicely done, Rachel. And Twerk, they'll also occur 1-time penalty. So they will have a total of 5. Rachel Malcolm aboard Twerk, Ultra-Mox Lady Rider of the Year final. So just the 2 on 4 faults at the moment. Julie Davey on Nahiwi Stone and Caratino Jewel for Olivia Newsom. And 2 on 4 faults, 5 faults, Sally Steiner and Rachel Malcolm. Bell goes for our next combination. Young lady from Taupo, La Quinara, ridden by Annabelle Francis, formerly from the South Island and moved up to Taupo to compete in the North Island competitions more regularly. Rides a 9-year-old bay mare by HB2 Luga G by the name of La Quinara. She also has down fence 4. Comes now to fences 6A, B and C. La Quinara for Annabelle Francis. Comes now to this IRT Oxer, then to the brick wall. Fences 7 and 8. They then hang it left to fence 9. The stirrups vertical. Comes down to this last line now. 4 fences in a bent line that can be ridden relatively straight. Take the stride out. Jumps in nicely. Tangles the legs a little bit at B. Shortens up for the Bailey's vertical, does Annabelle. So 8 faults for Annabelle Francis and La Quinara. They slot into 6th place. So the top 8 at the moment are on 8 faults or less. And those are 8 combinations at this stage. Will be coming back. But we have got 16 combinations left to go. We welcome the young lady from Wellington, Sophie Scott. Sophie is aboard Lakota by the stallion Pintado Desperado. They travel to the South Island quite a lot, do Sophie and her team. Very successful young lady. She won the Young Rider Champion 2019 and 2020 at the New Zealand National Champs. She was a runner-up at the National Grand Prix Series this year. Sophie Scott aboard Lakota. Comes down the last line. Just the one rail at fence 10 so far. Oh, and she pushed a little bit too much to the last fence. She's inside the time allowed of 80 seconds. Her time is 79.25. And she will finish with 8 faults. Sophie Scott aboard Lakota. Ultra-Mox Lady Rider of the Year. The big class for Thursday. Land Rover Horse of the Year 2020. Still just the 2 4-faulters. 12 combinations have gone, 15 are left to go. We welcome a young lady from West Melton in South Island. And the last competition for Alakazam, MH and Tegan Fitzsimon, with him retiring at the end of Land Rover Horse of the Year 2020. Can she go out a winner in the Ultra-Mox Lady Rider of the Year? They were the Youth Olympics members. They won the World Cup Series, has Tegan on her other horse, Windermere Cappuccino. Alakazam MH by Anna Moore, out of the portrait by Alamond. Forward ride to fence 9, shortens up to 10. 20-year-old Alakazam MH and Tegan Fitzsimon. They come to this last line. Six strides out over the Oxer. Can she jump the last clear? She sure can. And a smile says it all. Jumping is clear, but the time allowed is 80 seconds, and Tegan's time of 82.94 will give her 1 time fault. Clear jumping, but it is 1 time fault for Tegan Fitzsimon and Alakazam MH. They'll still go to the top of the leaderboard though, because they have had 1, accumulated total of 1. This is a 2-round competition though. Top 8 combinations will be back, or all clears. So we know the course can be jumped clear. The time just has to be met. We welcome now another young lady from the South Island, this time Kate Kavanagh, and she is from Geraldine. Full-time breaking in and schooling yard with her partner Steve Houston. The 8-year-old Bay Mare by Wallflower, by Corofino 2, out of the mare Double D, bred by Jeff Vicky McVean and owned by Kate. .81.56 is the time, so it's 1 time fault for Kate to go with the 1 rail. She will have a total of 5 faults, Kate Kavanagh and Wallflower. So we're halfway through the first round of the Ultra-Mox Lady Rider of the Year for 2020. Next combination, Laura Hillhorst aboard LC Underberg, the first of 3 Lauras we have in a row. Laura Hillhorst, Laura McGregor, Laura Inkster. Ultra-Mox Lady Rider of the Year. 21-year-old from Cambridge. Laura Hillhorst rides LC Underberg by the stallion Limburg Dehayets out of the mare Yaldavi. The same dam as LC Autograph we saw earlier for Ali Carson. And Laura studying business management at Waikato Uni. Comes now to the Ultra-Mox treble. .16 jump faults and 1 time fault for Laura. She will finish her round with a total of 17. Ultra-Mox Lady Rider of the Year, 1.40 m. All of these 30 combinations qualified on Tuesday or Wednesday to compete here in the Ultra-Mox Lady Rider of the Year. A big prize pool up for grabs for the winner. Not only do they get the $1,200 check, They get a year's supply of Ikoya product, as well as 2 tickets to tonight's Ikoya Woman of Inspiration function. They get the beautiful trophy, Lady Rider of the Year, as well as their choice of a stunning Ray Burmester jewellery piece of jewellery. Their choice up to the value of $1,250. We welcome now Laura McGregor from Auckland, equestrian manager at Pure Equestrian. There's Laura, and she rides a 12-year-old bay gelding High Command. Huge leap over the triple bar for Laura and High Command. Comes to the last line on 8 at this stage. Laura McGregor, High Command. Fences 11A and B comes to the last. The Bailey's vertical. It's a bit of an S-bend line down there from 11, 12A, B and 13. And it'll be a time fault to go with her 8 jump faults. And it's a total of 9 for Laura McGregor and High Command. Ultra-Mox Lady Rider of the Year. 12 combinations left to go. The top 8 combinations will come back for the second round. Their faults will be carried through. It is a 2-round competition. The top 8 sit like this at the moment. Annabelle Francis, Kate Hurdson, Sally Steiner, Kate Kavanagh, Rachel Malcolm, Olivia Newsom, Julie Davey, and of course Tegan Fitzsimon on the 1 penalty. So Matawai Senator for Laura Inkster. They won the Lady Rider of the Year in 2018, did Matawai Senator for Lisa Coop. A couple of rails down so far for Matawai Santana and Laura Inkster. Comes to the Ultra-Mox treble. Does Laura. Lives in Clevedon. She won the New Zealand FEI Challenge, the Show to Me Challenge in Hastings in 2014. And she then represented New Zealand in Bulgaria in 2015. Laura comes down this last line now, sitting on 16 faults as she comes to the last. She jumps the last clear, and she's also outside the time allowed, so she will incur 1 time penalty to go with her 16 jump faults, and she'll finish with a total of 17 for Matawai Santana and Laura Inkster. The Ultra-Mox Lady Rider of the Year. 10 combinations are left to go. At the moment, Tegan Fitzsimon sits with 2 on 4 faults. That's Julie Davey and Olivia Newsom. And then we have 3 on 5. Rachel Malcolm, Kate Kavanagh and Sally Steiner. So next combination we have here in front of you is Sirius GNZ and Alexa Randall. Full-time rider out of Tahihi Farms up in Karaka. And Sirius GNZ, 8-year-old bay gelding, bred at Golden Grove Stud in Christchurch. And she also has down fence 4. 4 combinations have had fence 4 down so far. She sets up to the IRT Oxa. Comes now to fence 10. The last line for Sirius GNZ and Alexa Randall. 11, 12 AB and 13. Sits on 8 faults at the moment as she comes to the last. She's clear over the last is Alexa and Sirius GNZ. She too is over the time allowed of 80 seconds. So she will have a total of 9. So to finish in the top 8, you're going to have to finish with less than 8 faults. 9 combinations are left to go. Jump clear, guarantee a round in the second round. If you finish with 8 or less at this stage, you will possibly come back. So older sister, Drew Carson. We saw Ali Carson out earlier on LC Autograph, finish on 9. Drew Carson aboard Winston V. Drien. Out of Putaruru, studying a Bachelor of Science. Majoring in biotechnology at Waikato Uni is Drew. Drew jumping in our World Cup series this year. Won the Young Rider of the Year aboard Winston V. Drien in 2018. Comes now to 7A. Nicely ridden down there for Drew. A little bit of a rub at fence 10. Comes down this last line. Over 11 to 12A and B. Nicely out over the Oxa. Comes to the last, shortens him up, or gives it a rub. Well, the time allowed is 80 seconds. And her time is 79.85. She is all clear. Drew Clarkson and Winston V. Drien. Great ride. You could see the smile from here as she jumped the last. Great ride. Drew Carson and Winston V. Drien. Ultra-Mox Lady Rider of the Year. Eight combinations are left to go in the first round. 8 combinations will come back for the second round. We go now to Nikisha Lammers. And Nikisha is aboard Balboa NZPH by Orlando, out of the mare Touch of Blur. Nikisha from Whangarei. She's based at the moment in Okura in Taranaki with her partner Matthew Dickey, studying a bachelor's degree in applied science. Oh, there's no need to look back, Nikisha. It's all clear. She gave fence 12B a big rub. She's outside the time allowed, though, so she will incur one penalty, a time of 81.11. She will incur one time penalty. But it is a 2-round competition, though, so that's 2 now on 1 fault. Tegan Fitzsimon and Nikisha Lammers, and just the 1 clear. Drew Carson, just the only clear. 7 left to go. 1 clear, 2 on 1 time fault, 2 on 4 faults, and 3 on 5. Those are our top 8 at the moment, 5 faults or less. We welcome now Kimberly Bird aboard Roxette ECPH. Roxette by Korofino 2, out of the mare Nahiwi Hijack, bred by East Coast Performance Horses. Nikki Booth and Jenny and the team, East Coast Performance Horses, by their wonderful stallion Korofino 2. Big leap over 12B. She comes to the last. She's also over the time allowed. She's 3.6 seconds over, so she'll just incur 1 time penalty to go with her 8 jump faults. So she also will get a total of 9 for Kimberly and Roxette ECPH. So the top 8 sit on 5 faults or less. We welcome now the 5th to final combination, Lisa Coop. And this time Lisa is aboard Kasera MS. From Tamaheri is Lisa. She won the Norwood Gold Cup here in Land Rover Premier Arena yesterday afternoon, and a great win aboard Lottie. She rides Kasera MS this time, though. 8-year-old bay mare by Cassini 2, out of the mare Gold Diva MS. Bred and owned by Matafio Sport Horses, the Willis family. Picking up a catch ride has Lisa or Kasera MS. Jumped really well in the metre 40 on the Tuesday here at Horse of the Year. Taking the inside turn there does Lisa, and gets punished for it at the IRT Oxa. The back of Lisa's mind there, she was wary of the time. This mare doesn't have a huge long stride. She comes now to this last line, sitting on 8 faults. Kasera MS and Lisa Coop. I shall be a little bit disappointed, will Lisa? She takes home 20 faults. And Kasera MS and Lisa Coop. They pick up 20. Only picking up the ride this week has Lisa. So great to qualify for the Ultra-Mox Lady Rider of the Year. 4 combinations left to go. The grey horse here in the ring goes by the name of AMS Glenbrook Archibunker.
Can't you reach that 1 feet? Fiona. Fiona. She couldn't reach it. No, she can't reach the top.
So the IRT Oxa all set after Lisa Coop's little mishap at the Oxa, breaking the rail. So rail's all set, ready to go. And we are underway with AMS Glenbrook Archibunker for Lichelle Small. 12-year-old Grey Gelding. Holsteiner Cross by Cassini 2. Out of the mare Dozen Roses, formerly ridden in the South Island by Chris Harris. Owned by Aria Small. Ridden by Lichelle. 17-year-old Lichelle Small. Represented New Zealand in Germany at the Children's FEI. Just the one clear so far. Drew Carson aboard Winston V. Drien. Comes to the last now, does Lichelle. AMS Glenbrook Archibunker. And the first Ultra-Mox Lady Rider of the year for Lichelle Small. She'll finish with a total of 8 faults. Total of 8 faults for Lichelle Small and AMS Glenbrook Archibunker. That'll put them into 10th place at this stage, with 3 combinations left to go. In the first round, guaranteed 8 combinations will be back for the second round, and only one of those is guaranteed at this stage. That's Drew Carson aboard Winston V. Drien. They're the only ones that have managed to jump this course clear and inside the time. We welcome now Rachel Malcolm. She's back for her second ride. She had a 5-fault round aboard Twerk. This time she is aboard Monte Carlo MVNZ by the stallion Inductoro out of the lovely mare Auburn Princess MVNZ. Bred out of Tauranga by Mount View Sport Horses, the Kendall family. Rachel Malcolm, full-time horse trainer and rider in Cambridge. Does a lovely job of producing these young horses, does Rachel. She rides Monte Carlo MVNZ. At this stage aboard Twerk, she sits in 6th place. Can she get 2 mounts into the second round? The time's okay at the moment. She's got to jump down this last line clear. Nice ride into the double, shortens up over the oxer. Comes to the last. Monte Carlo, MVNZ. Great ride, Rachel Malcolm. Brilliant ride. She goes all clear. Clear round number 2. So at this stage, she'll have 2 come back for the jump off, with Twerk sitting on 5 faults. But Monte Carlo, MVNZ, and Rachel Malcolm goes all clear. They join Drew Carson and Winston Vidrien with a clean sheet coming back for the second round. So 2 combinations are left to go. Ultra-Mox Lady Rider of the Year. $1,200 cash. A year's supply of Akoya home furnishings and beauty products. $1,250 to spend at Ray Burmester Jewellery. And you get your name on the Lady Rider of the Year Cup. Sarah West aboard Della Marie Sun was the best performed Kiwi at the Gold Tour at Takapoto in the final a couple of weeks ago. Was Sarah, studying equine dentistry, working part-time for Tiakau Racing. Della Marie's son, 13-year-old chestnut gelding by Koyuna Majestic Supreme. Nice 4 strides down 7 to 8. Opts for the 5 down to 10. She comes to the last line now. Della Marie Sun and Sarah West from Matamata. Oh, she's given the last a rub, and unfortunately she'll join the 1 faulters outside the time allowed. 1 fault, so 81.33. Time allowed of 80 seconds. She will get 1 time fault. So she'll slot at this stage into 4th with our 2 other 1 faulters. 2 clears, Rachel Malcolm and Drew Carson. 3 1-folders, Nikisha Lammers, Sarah West and Tegan Fitzsimon. And 2 4-folders, Julie Davey and Olivia Newsom. 8 combinations will be back for the second round. Got our last combination in the first round to come out, and that is Samantha Peters aboard Cesar NZPH, 8-year-old black gelding by Fetis de Pass, out of the mare Osh approved NZPH. Full-time rider from Cambridge is Sam. Comes to the Ultra-Mox treble. She's got to finish on 4 faults or less if she wants to guarantee to come back. At the moment, Rachel Malcolm holds that 8th spot with 5 faults. The fastest 4-faulter is Rachel. Hold on, Sam. We don't want anyone else falling off today. Huge leap over fence 10. She comes down the last line now. Samantha Peters aboard Cesar NZPH. She finishes inside the time allowed. Should very well make. She won't make the top 8 now. 2 rails down, 8 faults. It's an 8-fault round. She's inside the time allowed. Total of 8 for Sam Peters and Cesar NZPH. So you see there the leaderboard for the Land Rover Horse of the Year 2020, class number 25, the Ultra-Mox Lady Rider of the Year. Just the two clears, Rachel Malcolm and Drew Carson. Of those 29 combinations that went, just the two managed a clear. So guaranteed 8 combinations will come back for the second round. And we will wait for confirmation, but by my reckoning, we will have Monte Carlo MVNZ and Rachel Malcolm. Winston V. Drien for Drew Carson. Nikisha Lammers aboard Balboa NZPH. Sarah West on Delamarie Sun. Tegan Fitzsimon on Alakazam MH. Julie Davey on Nahiwi Stone. Olivia Newsom on Cartino Jewel. And Rachel Malcolm on her second horse, Twerk. They'll come back in reverse order. They will carry the penalties through. Should we have an equality of faults at the completion of this round, the time in this round will be the determining factor. So round 2 is against the clock, but your equality of faults will be determining if we need to go back to that time. Ultra-Mox Lady Rider of the Year, 8 combinations will be back for the final. We'll be back in about 2.5 minutes for the second round to determine who's going to win Ultra-Mox Lady Rider of the Year at Land Rover Horse of the Year for 2020.
their lives again, their life full of stories, 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 their lives again, their life full of stories. I need your loving like the sunshine.
So, second round, Ultra-Mox Lady Rider of the Year is about to get underway. You see the horse trotting there behind me, and that is Rachel Malcolm, aboard Twerk, full-time rider from Cambridge. 8 combinations have come back for the second round. 5 faults or less. Rachel Malcolm was the fastest of our 5 faulters, and she has 2 rides. She'll be out first on the one you see there in front of you, Twerk, and she'll be out last aboard Monte Carlo MVNZ. 2 riders were clever enough to jump this track clear. Rachel Malcolm aboard Monte Carlo MVNZ and Drew Carson on Winston V3N. 3 combinations weren't quite quick enough. They jumped clear, but they had 1 time fault. Those were Nikisha Lammers, Sarah West and Tegan Fitzsimon. Julie Davey and Olivia Newsom, they had 1 rail each, and Rachel Malcolm had 1 rail and 1 time fault. Just outside the time allowed was Rachel of 80 seconds. Her time of 80.67 gave her 1 fault. Because she was the quickest, she was the best of the 5 faulters. She made it back to round number 2. The Ultra-Mox Lady Rider of the Year. Thursday's Lady Day here at Horse of the Year. They've got the Akoya Woman of Inspiration function on at 7 o'clock. The winner of this Lady Rider of the Year will also get a year's worth of Akoya products, along with $1,200 cold hard cash, and of course, probably arguably the most important part of this class, the $1,200 of Ray Burmester jewellery. Every single year, arguably the most valued prize in Land Rover Premier Arena is the piece of Ray Burmester jewellery. So, Ultra-Mox Lady Rider of the Year. Here we go. It is a 2-round competition, so that means they carry their faults through. The winner will be determined of the combination that have the least amount of faults after these 2 rounds. Should we have an equality of faults at the completion of these 2 rounds, the time in this round will be the determining factor. They jump a shortened track. Good bold ride there for Rachel. Jump 1, 2, and 3. They turn now to what was the Ultra-Mox treble. It is now a double. Bold ride in there for Rachel. She's going to have to shorten. Beautiful by Twerk. She takes the route to 7. Nicely done. She pushes forward to fence 9. Or what was fence 9 in the first class. She comes down to fence 10. She's got to turn and gallop to the last 2. Kostazina Verdinadeg out there watching with intrepidation. She gallops to the last. Rachel Malcolm, and like so many before her, she has one rail at the last in the jump off. Rachel Malcolm and Twerk. 53.42 is her time. She'll have 4 faults and she'll finish on a total of 9. 2-round total of 9 and her second round total of 53.42. Olivia Newsom aboard Cartino Jewel. They were combination number 3 out in the first round. They've had to watch these other combinations go. And she just had 1 rail down. She sits on 4 faults right now in the Ultra-Mox Lady Rider of the Year. If she jumps clear, she'll go to the top of the leaderboard. But she's also got to be careful and mindful of her time, because there is some very fast combinations that come later. But they'll also have to jump clear. Takes a rail down at part C of the treble. Big leap over 7. They miss out the brick wall that caused a couple of problems in the first round. Big leap over fence 10 for Cartino Jewel and Olivia Newsom. They come to the last. Their time of 50.28. 50.28. And 1 rail. So they will have a total of 8. So she goes to the top of the leaderboard with 8. And Rachel Malcolm on Twerk finishes on 9. So 6 combinations left to go. Ultra-Mox Lady Rider of the Year. Arguably one of the most prestigious classes to win at Horse of the Year. Some very, very talented names have gone on the Mary Legs Cup. Lisa Coop has won it twice. She won't win it this year. You will have a new name on Mary Legs Cup. Michaela Herbert and Gran Capello picked up the win last year. They're not starting this year. Julie Davey aboard Nahiwi Stone is in the ring now. Come through on 4 faults. If she has no more rails down, she has to be quicker. So that'll leave Olivia and Cartino Jewel in the lead with a 2-round total of 8 at this stage, with 5 combinations left to start. She'll finish on a total of 16, 57.83 for Julie. 12 faults in this one, 16 and 57.83. Ultra-Mox Lady Rider of the Year. We go from one of the youngest horses to definitely the oldest horse in the class. His last Land Rover Horse of the Year for Alakazam, MH and Tegan Fitzsimon. Can they go out on a winner? They sit on one fault at this stage. They jumped clear, but just a fraction slow. What is Tegan's plan? Will she be looking to go clear and put the pressure on everyone else? Because if she jumps clear, she'll finish on one fault. That doesn't give any breathing room for anybody else coming into the second round of Ultra-Mox Lady Rider of the Year. That looks to be Tegan's plan. She's got to be mindful, though, the time allowed of 64 seconds. If she goes over the time allowed in the second round, she gets penalised one fault for every second over. Not like the first, where it's one fault for every 4 seconds. Time allowed of 64. She's got 14 seconds to get to the finish. She's going to push it. She's going to be very, very close to the time allowed. She's about to go over the time allowed. She does. She gets one time penalty. So she will finish on 2. 64.72. 64.72. And she will go to 2 faults. But can still win it on 2 faults. Unfortunately, though, 2 riders have gone clear in the first round. Drew Carson, Winston Vidrien, and Rachel Malcolm aboard Monte Carlo MVNZ. They went clear and inside the time. Second round is a timed round. This is the determining factor should we have an equality of faults. Any of these riders have 1 rail down, that's it. They will not win Ultra-Mox Lady Rider of the Year. Tegan Fitzsimon has made sure of that. That was her plan right from the get-go. Jump clear. I'm not worried about time faults. 2 is better than 4. So, Sarah West aboard Della Marie's son from Matamata. They also sit on 1 fault. She's only just got to go slightly quicker than Tegan and jump clear. She will go into the lead on 1 fault, putting more and more pressure on these riders as they go through the class. They come back in reverse penalties, so the current leader is the last out. That just puts more and more pressure on these riders as they go. They have to learn how to deal with this. They know what they've got to do. Jump clear and be inside the time of 64. She's clear as she comes down to the last. She is also going to have time faults if she's not careful. Well, it's 1 rail for Sarah West. The stirrups vertical did come down, so she will have 4 faults. It was the upper element, so it is 1 down and a 58.44. 58.44 is her time. She'll end up with a 2-round total of 5. She was inside the time allowed of 64, so she'll finish with a total of 5. That'll slot her at this stage into 2nd place. So the grey hair in front of you, originally from Whangarei, then moved to the Taranaki, is now going to move to the mighty Waikato. Nikisha Lammers rides Balboa NZPH. They had one fault, so they were the fastest in the first round of our one-time faulters. Nikisha Lammers aboard Balboa NZPH. We know the time is gettable. Sarah West inside the time, but unfortunately one down at the stirrups fence. 3 combinations left to go, including Nikisha. She's just got to jump clear, and that pressure gets mounted more and more on our final 2 combinations. She jumps fence 10, lovely. She comes down to this last line, 2 fences to go. She should just make the time. Can she jump the last? Clear. Beautiful ride. Beautiful ride. Nikisha Lammers and Balboa, they go all clear. And their time of 59.62, 59.62. She will finish with 1. That one time fault. It could be a saving grace or it could be a curse she'll live to remember for the next 12 months. 2 combinations left to go. They have to jump clear. Drew Carson and Rachel Malcolm. Those are our final 2 combinations. They both sit on 0 penalties. Should they have a time fault in this round, they will go to second, because this time in the second round is the determining factor should we have an equality of faults. Should they jump clear, then Rachel Malcolm has to jump clear and faster than Drew Carson, Winston v. Drien. If she has a rail, she'll drop down to 3rd place at this stage. She's got to be mindful of the time. Come on, Bruce. Goes by the nickname of Bruce, does Winston v. Driem. And you'll hear the yells from here if she does go clear. She jumps fence 10 clear. If she keeps at this pace, she's going to have a time fault. She'll then lose it. 64 is the time allowed. She's got 2 seconds to get to the finish. She's got a time fault. She'll go to second. She might have jumped clear. She's got a time fault. So she will go to second. Her time is 64.75. 64.75 is slower than Nikisha Lammers' time. They both finish on 1 fault at the moment, but the time in the second round is the determining factor. That 1 time fault might be a very, very good thing for Nikisha and Balboa NZPH. Only one way Rachel Malcolm can win it. She has to jump clear. She has to go inside the time. It's very simple. Do you want the Ray Burmester jewellery? Do you want the Akoya products for a year? Do you want the Mary Legs Cup engraved for eternity on your name? Ultra-Mox Lady Rider of the Year, Rachel Malcolm aboard Monte Carlo MVNZ. Got to jump clear. She's got the time made. Good ride there by Rachel. Very wise decision. She's made up the time. She won't have a time fault. She's now can settle to jump clear. She's still got fences to jump and they've got to be jumped clear. Oh, I'm not quite sure how she made it through that double, but she's clear nonetheless. She comes to the IRT. Four from home. The time is not going to be an issue. She came inside to fence 2. She's just got to jump clear. She's going to have about 5 seconds up her sleeve. One of the biggest wins of her career if she can jump this clear. Oh, she's done it. Punches the air with joy. Rachel Malcolm, irrespective of the time, 56.72. Doesn't really matter because she's jumped double clear and she's the only one to do it. 56.72. Rachel Malcolm aboard Monte Carlo MVNZ. Oh, that is a great win. Arguably her biggest win to date. Great win by Rachel. She'll also finish in 7th with a twerk. Rachel Malcolm aboard Monte Carlo MVNZ. The only combination to jump double clear. Second place will go to Nikisha Lammers with just the one fault. The leaderboard pops up there on your screen. Drew Carson will take 3rd. Tegan Fitzsimon aboard Alakazam MH will take 4th. Sarah West will take 5th. Olivia Newsom will be 6th. Rachel Malcolm will finish in 7th. And Julie Davey aboard Nahiwi Stone will take home 8th place. But what a great way to finish the Ultra-Mox Lady Rider of the Year. A great win for Rachel Malcolm aboard Monte Carlo MVNZ, the Ultra-Mox Lady Rider of the Year. $1,200 cash, $1,250 worth of jewellery from Ray Burmester Jewellery, a year's supply of Ekoya health and well-being products, and of course 2 tickets to tonight's Ekoya Woman of Inspiration function held in the Land Rover Lounge. We will shoot down for presentations from Warwick Allen down the Land Rover Premier Arena.
Thank you very much, Fiona, as we all catch our breath from what was another exciting class here in the Premier Jumping Arena. It's a feature class we always look forward to, the Lady Rider of the Year, and this year was no exception on the excitement levels. Well, as we wait for our presentation to take place, my opportunity to welcome Ben from Bayer. Great sponsors of the Lady Rider of the Year, and Ben, great to be back at the Horse of the Year.
Yeah, thanks, Warwick. It's always great to be here. It's such a great event, and we're really proud to be associated with Horse of the Year and the Ultra-Mox Lady Rider.
Well, now the name Ultra-Mox we've become very familiar with Ultra-Mox over the year at Horse of the Year. We've got the wonderful treble that we have here in the Premier Arena, but the wormer, it's still New Zealand's #1 wormer.
Yep, we're pretty proud that Ultra-Mox is still the leading #1 worming brand in New Zealand. We're pretty lucky. We've got a really loyal customer base that support the product year in, year out.
Now, tell me, we've had a lot of dry conditions around New Zealand this year, you know, particularly up north, which has created the thing we talked about was a worm burden, which is something that your products can help with.
Yeah, that's right, Warwick. Unfortunately, a lot of the country are struggling through a pretty dry period, and because of that, the worm burdens are, I guess, getting ready to explode. Once we get a bit of autumn rain, you know, we're going to have quite a few worms around, so people really have to be careful and watch their management of their parasite programs.
Well, I guess you can help them with that. Being here at the Horse of the Year this week, the team's all here. You've got the products here, and I believe you've got some great deals going on the products.
Yep, we do have some great deals here. There's 20% off both Ultra-Mox and XL products, so that's all week. Only available at Horse of the Year, so people need to get in quick while they're still available. And we've also got some great technical advice to give them as well. Well,
we all need that, of course, mate. Now, as well as the great deals, you've also got a prize draw going on. That's a national draw, not just here at Horse of the Year, though.
That's right. For the months of March and April, for anyone that purchases our products, they can go in the draw to win a really fantastic bait saddle of their choice. So we're pretty lucky to be able to offer a prize like that.
Fantastic. So not only can you set people up with their worming treatments at a very good price, you can also go in the draw to win a saddle. Make sure you pop along and see the team of Bayer with all their Ultra-Mox stand between the main dressage and jumping arenas. See Ben and the team there throughout this week, and we thank them very much for their ongoing support of the Lady Rider of the Year. Well, folks, we'll just standing by now, waiting for our top place getters to make their way into the arena, and we'll have the presentation very shortly of the Lady Rider of the Year. Well, ladies and gentlemen, in the Premier Arena, it is now presentation time. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we welcome into our presentation our place getters in the Ultra-Mox Lady Rider of the Year. On hand with our presentation, we welcome Ben again from Bayer, who will present the Mary Leagues Trophy to our winner. Also, a warm welcome to Jane Burmester, who will present the Ray Burmester voucher of $1,250, as well as 2 tickets to tonight's Akoya Woman of Inspiration evening, and also the winner receiving a year's supply of Akoya products. Our winning horse also wearing the wonderful Cavallino covers supplied for us by Stirrups Equestrian. Unfortunately, our winning horse is a little bit hyped up after his competition tonight, so our winner's going to stay on board, but at this stage we'll ask Ben if he could go forward and present the Mary Leagues Trophy to our 2020 Lady Rider of the Year. Ladies and gentlemen, Rachel Malcolm. Ben, just stand next to her if you can. We'll try and get the photo. Stay there, Ben, and I'll put you in. Oh. I'll ask Jane to present the vouchers to Rachel as well. Are we going to get a word in?
Don't hand it to me, just hold it.
Oh, we'll go and see if we can have a quick word with Rachel. Well, first of all, Rachel, congratulations. A wonderful title to win here at Horse of the Year.
Thank you so much. It's always been a dream of mine to win Lady Rider, so it's pretty special to do it on a horse that I've had since he was 2 and been the whole way through with him, and he's a really special horse to me. He's a lot of fun.
They made you work for it tonight. It wasn't easy. You had some great competition, but obviously there was a lot of time faults coming into play there. You had a bit of pressure on there. Did you feel that coming into that second round?
Yeah, I felt like I probably needed to try and go quick enough early on that I could settle a little bit towards the end of the course. I actually had a couple of lives there in the jump off, but luck was on my side. So, it was our day today. Just a huge thanks to my team that's around me. I've only been back the second half of the season after having my first child, little Oliver. So it's really taken a big team to get here. My mum and sister, my best friend Tash, my husband John, and my friend and coach Lisa. She's been here keeping me on my A game and getting me going out here today. So thanks to my sponsors, Oakridge Equestrian and Joe Studden, Equine Osteopath, and huge thanks to the sponsors of the class, Ultra-Mox, and also to Jane Burmester for their sponsorship of the special prize. So thrilled.
Well done, ladies and gentlemen. We've heard from it, our Lady Rider of the Year for 2020, Rachel Malcolm. Ben, I'll take that if you want to go and do some handshaking for us. Well, it was a great class, and it was an opportunity for us to acknowledge our other place getters in the class. Please put your hands together for second place getter aboard Balboa NZPH, Nikisha Lammers. In third place aboard Winston V. Drienne was Drew Carson. In fourth place, and it was retirement from Horse of the Year. He didn't do a disgraceful job at all. Alakazam MH for Tegan Fitzsimons. In fifth place aboard Delmari's son was Sarah West. And in sixth place, riding Caratino Jewel, Olivia Newsom. Well, we do thank all our lady riders tonight. It was another exciting class that it always is, this title class. And they certainly put on a spectacle. We're going to ask them to put on one more spectacle and enjoy the celebratory victory lap. Ladies and gentlemen, let's put our hands together for all our place getters here in the Ultra-Mox Lady Rider of the Year, led out by our 2020 champion, Rachel Malcolm.
Number one and nothing less. Lead me to my destiny. I have waited patiently. I have vision, though I believe. I know I can count on me. So stand up for the champions, for the champions. Stand up.
Oh, great win there by Rachel Malcolm aboard Monte Carlo MVNZ. And as she said earlier as well, one that she's always wanted to win, and a great win as well by Rachel Malcolm and Monte Carlo MVNZ. So that brings to conclusion Land Rover Horse of the Year 2020 Thursday edition, with the win for Rachel Malcolm in the Ultra-Mox Lady Rider of the Year. The win in the Harrison Lane Pro-Am final to Kiwi Lansing and Lorena Dolman. And in the first class we had won by Crystal Hackett aboard the Dreamer. So tomorrow for Land Rover Horse of the Year in Land Rover Premier Arena. We're set to get underway at 8 o'clock with the Foresight 5-year-old Horse of the Year Championship. That'll be followed by the 7-year-old Horse of the Year Championship, and then two of the bigger classes as we go towards the Bailey's Young Rider final, set to get underway at around about 2:30. And then part of the Friday night extravaganza will be the Cavallino Silver Fern Stakes, 1 metre 40 to 1 metre 50, the big class on Friday evening. Friday, March the 13th, we will be bringing you all of the action. Land Rover Horse of the Year for 2020 with Sky Sport next. A big thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you all back here tomorrow for Land Rover Horse of the Year 2020.
I have to pick myself back up, and when I fall down, I have to pick myself back up, and when I fall down, I have to pick myself up. Stand up for the champions, for the champions. Stand up for the champions, for the champions. Stand up, stand up, stand up for the champions, for the champions. Stand up.
Ultra-Mox, the multi-worming solution for horses from Bayer.
Ultra-Mox is the only triple active wormer that contains moxidectin. Ultra-Mox is effective against internal parasites of horses, but the addition of moxidectin means that it's also active against encysted cyathostomes. Ultra-Mox was developed in New Zealand and is manufactured in New Zealand for New Zealand horses. Available from your local vet, equine specialty or farm supply store.
Bayer, science for a better life.
Hastings is a warm and plentiful district, a place in the sun feeding the world with its abundant riches, glorious fresh fruit and produce, award-winning wines, swimming and biking, fantastic weather and fun in the sun. Hastings has an outstanding landscape, the triple peaks of Te Mata and the stunning Cape Kidnappers with its famous colony of gannets. Hastings is the heart for many of New Zealand's favourite sporting pursuits and attractions. The business and retail precinct is at the top of its game. At the helm, its innovative, hard-working community. A diverse global and Māori culture enrich our district. Our kete is now full to the brim. Come and bask in the bounty of the Hastings district, the heart of Hawke's Bay.
The whole Akoya brand is founded upon the life and the way of life in this part of the world. We want to create fragrances that reflect our lifestyle here and reflect who we are as people. It's important that the environment, the fragrances, the natural waxes and everything play together to create this one beautiful thing.